guy's got a squeal, the other guy's doing the classic radio thing, which is good. And there was somebody else, too, so I'm just going to shut up. I hear 153. I thought you were 50th Street.
Somebody's noisy. I'm barefoot tonight, waving, Joey.
Oh, man.
What the heck are you doing? Running on the knee?
Well, it started out that way, but I shouldn't be there now. Hang on. Well, my heater is going too, so that's making all kinds of noise. Classic radio roundup.
Oh man, you're running on the knee of that amp. Sounds like garbage.
No, I'm not. Oh, well, maybe I am. Hang on. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with my fan making all kinds of noise. Yeah, hang on. I'll get it squared away. Hang on. I don't know. Maybe that's better.
Yeah, you need more carrier power.
More? You want me to do more than fire chicken power? All right, you asked for it. All right, you got it.
No. I just said you needed more carrier power.
Well, which is it? I need more or I needed more?
Past tense. You needed more. You're okay now. You can go back to fire chicken power.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell. Hang on. There we go. That should be somewhere. Oh, yeah, a lot of that power is just noise.
Yeah, everything's noisy. Buzz.
I don't know. Is it working now?
Seems to be.
Sounds all right. Level's good.
Sounds good over here for kilowatt.
Was.
Hello, kilowatt. Hello, 5-7.
Yeah, it's a whole lot better when you first came on. Good evening.
Well, you know, the last time I ran this radio, I was on single sideband with a completely different amplifier. So I have to set up for the Class C amplifier for this radio.
Yeah, I get that. I'm hearing a tone in the background, almost like a howl, but it's very consistent. I don't know what the heck I'm hearing.
You're hearing my water heater.
It's loud as hell.
I mean, how did you get a water heater that sounds just like that?
I don't know. That's the way it came. It's a hybrid water heater. It's got a heat pump on top, and the heat pump's running. Well, you're just going to have to live with it, because I can't do nothing about it till the water's up to temperature.
Hey, I understand, man. I used to have a washing machine that made all kinds of racket on the receiving side there, Roger.
Well, it's not really messing with my receiver, but it does get in, the audio gets into my microphone, so until it stops heating the hot water hot, there's nothing I can do about it.
Back the mic down a little bit.
How much more do you want me to back it down? I already backed it down. It's freaking almost off.
Oh, there you go. It's getting better now.
All right. It's almost off. Is that all right?
Right. Yeah, that's good now. You know, it's not, I can still hear it in the background, but it's not, it's not taking over most of your audio. Right.
All right. Well, that's where I want to be. Go ahead, Brager.
Yeah, I guess I had to pump it up, man. Nobody was responding when I was keying up, waving a hand.
Oh, you got heard. I just didn't get around to it, but I hear you. Hello there. Hello there. Bassmaster, your Rand McNally radio station.
Yeah, I was out here like 8 o'clock. I had a couple guys keying up. I was going to try barefoot here for about 5 or 10 minutes, but I was just a mud duck there. But I wanted to check into the good old classic radio roundup.
Well, you've been successful in checking into the Classic Radio Roundup, and here we are on the Classic Radio Roundup with the video gator rolling.
Yeah, it's down for her. All right, man, I wanted to wave a hand. I'm just having a little cigar here. Heard Kilowatt out there. I don't know if he can hear me. He probably does maybe now. I heard Dave out there, and I think it was Jay Lyon and somebody with a VFO windup. I heard. I don't know who that was.
That was a skip station. Good evening, Bassmaster. Yeah, I couldn't hear you, Barefoot. Sorry.
I did hear it.
10-4, yeah, I kind of figured that. I want to put on, I think I'm getting a 4-element beam for the back of my truck. That's what I decided.
4-element beam?
Yeah, just for mostly skip, but I'm going to try it on, for local. Yeah, I want to get a 4-element beam to put on the back of my truck.
Well, you won't be driving with that, I guess.
No, it's mostly for DX stuff there.
You got to look at what size the elements are, because they may completely make-believe stuff, too, like that. You don't want that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to play with something. So, who knows? It'll be fun to mess with.
507, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. When everybody, there's no skip, I hear you. Yes, Billy.
Nice. All right. I'm satisfied. 631 New Jersey.
Billy's a bit off frequency.
I hear you, Billy. Hey, Billy, zero beat. You got to zero beat that transmitter. But you're making it to the volcano crater here. Countywide radio on this antique flea market radio.
Yeah, he's like a kilohertz or too high. He's got a separate VFO. His transmitter, it's got a Viking 122 VFO, and it's not in the same room with him. He's got to go in the other room. Just zero beat. Oh my God.
Yeah, nothing like making things harder on yourself. It's already hard enough.
I got the same crap going on here, but at least I can see my VFO from here.
Well, I guess you could say this radio is rock bound, because it's synthesized with rocks.
Yeah, you got a lot of rocks out zero beat. You got to just take that heater you got there and maybe put on some hearing protection and load up a slug in your 12 gauge and shoot it.
No, I don't care if it's noisy. It saves me lots of moolah.
Well, if it'll make you feel better, I'll go zero beat, but it'll only last for a minute or two until I drift off frequency. What I'm doing is I'm trying to stay up here so that as I drift, I get closer onto frequency rather than drifting away like what would happen if I zero beat onto you right now. So, I don't know. If it would make you feel better, I'll do it, but there's reasons why I'm not doing that.
Does it drift down or does it drift up? Because you're up right now, so hopefully it drifts down. Usually you should start down and they drift up.
Alright, I'm just gonna zero beat you.
It's been on a while. It shouldn't move that far, I wouldn't think, since it's already warmed up. Well, whoever that carrier is not on frequency either, because you got a heterodyne when you keyed up, Dave. So either you or the carrier is off frequency. Well, I don't know what you just said. I only know that you're there because that carrier is much stronger than you are. So I don't think it's skip land. That signal is plugging my ears completely. I find it hard to believe that skip land could plug in everybody, one of my locals, plug in my ears from all my locals.
I just was watching it and it was falling off and then jumped back up to 30 over, but that's just keying up with that VFO windup.
That's a garbage mod, too. I don't know why people like that. What the hell?
I have one of my old 29, but I like it. See, me and you are different there, Dave. I like that kind of stuff.
I don't like anything that destroys the design of the radio. Not supposed to do that. I spent a lot of time to keep radios from drifting.
All I want for Christmas, Dave, is a Connex 3300 HP and a VFO windup.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good target practice object there. Put that on the back and shoot it.
I knew that was getting you going.
Yeah, see what my 4570 government could do to that.
You got an old Henry lever action there, Pete?
I got a U.S. Navy Remington 4570.
Yeah, I got an old, one of them old scout guns for bears, the old 4570 Henrys there, Roger.
It's on my wish list. A lever action Henry, but I got a Remington 4570 U.S. Navy stamp on it from 1886.
Does that thing kick?
No, it does not, because it's freaking almost 5 feet long.
10, 4, sound like a fun gun to shoot there, Roger.
Yeah, I call it my shoulder cannon. My shoulder cannon. Because I'm going to fire that thing. I'm going to take out you and the 3 guys standing behind you.
Yeah, Roger. I got a 30apr25 Lapua, and that's pretty much what I call it. But I shoot it usually around an average of 1,000 yards with it, Roger. Who is that, Pete?
I don't know. Who is that? Who's checking in on Classic Radio Roundup?
Tony, he's in skip land.
Yeah, that's the guy who's throwing that carrier at the windup. He might not be hearing us all the time.
I don't know. He's got a pretty decent signal. Who is that with the Lupa?
You got a 108 in South Texas there, Roger.
Oh, well, top of the evening there, 108 in Texas. Man, you got a big signal, stronger than my locals here in Pennsylvania. 441 the Spitfire, here on the Classic Radio Roundup.
Hey, Roger, on that, I'll step back down to the little driver. Hell, I guess I don't need all that out there anyways. But you and all your locals sounded well and still on the big star. Just been in here doing a little bit of eavesdropping. But sounding real sweet.
Yeah, we'll save some of them flowers from yourself, because you're doing your thing out of Texas, no doubt about it. They always say everything's bigger out of Texas. Well, you can certainly say that about your signal. You can check it out, how you came into my radio station on the YouTube tomorrow. I video gate every Wednesday night here on a Classic Radio Roundup. Just look for Classic Radio Roundup on the YouTube and you'll see the gate. 441 the Spitfire.
Yeah, no matter, I'll definitely go check it out, no doubt about it. But I'll let you and the locals get back out there and get the chit-chat, and I ain't gonna hold the phone. I'll put this thing back in the rack, put it back on the quiet side, 73s, and enjoy the rest of y'all's week. 108 around South Texas, pulling it on back.
All right there, 108. You're sounding really good, no doubt about it. Thanks for stopping by the Classic Radio Roundup. Jump in anytime, join the conversation. Glad to have you. Good to hear from you. Hope to hear from you again.
Sounding good, 108, Bassmaster in the Keystone, we said it. Right back, Bassmaster, I appreciate the flowers. But don't send them all my way, because I got to send them right back. 73s to your Bassmaster. 108 is back out. Take care, 108, me and my mud dog mobile.
That's impressive considering the beam's pointed away from him.
Oh, you're hearing them too?
Oh yeah, he's stronger than you are.
He's stronger than everybody is.
He's giving me 30 over.
Yeah, I'm getting about plus 10 over, which on this beater is pretty hard to do.
Yeah, he's like about 20 over, better than 20 over here on the Regency CR 123B.
I could tell when it was keyed up dead, and you were talking, I was watching the signal. It went from 30 and then did a quick dip to 6 and then backed up. Right?
Yeah, after I started looking at it more closely, it was moving around, but initially that signal was locked on and it wasn't moving. So it was hard to tell. But I should have known it wasn't a local, because no locals give me 25 dB over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, no, I think part of it, he couldn't hear a couple guys, and then he was just fiddling around, but that's cool.
Hopefully that drops out before the night's over. Agreed.
Yeah, we don't need a whole bunch of that. But I'll take it where it's not a whole lot of skipland background noise, and you just get one station that comes in and gives you 20 dB over you can talk to. I'm all right with that.
What's wrong, Dave? You don't want to get your 3300 Connex out?
No. I don't like Skip. Yeah, I think we should shoot Skip. I just like to talk to the locals and have a good old time. 111111111.
You seem to be okay with Skip on 40 meters when you're talking to people you know there.
Wow, that's not, I don't consider that Skip.
Down on 1.919 too.
Well, you might not consider it Skip, but it's certainly using the ionospheric propagation to get to your signal from here to there. So in my book, that's Skip.
Yeah, but it's more consistent. And I'm talking to people I know.
You know I'm just busting your shoes.
Of course you are. You got to do that.
And if there wasn't Skip on medium wave radio, we wouldn't be talking there and having a good time either.
You guys listen to them guys down on 160?
I am one of those guys on 160.
I was on the SDR, what was it? Well, one of the Maryland SDRs. I was listening to all them guys on the other side of Harrisburg talking the other night.
Oh well, you might have been listening on sideband. I don't know. I'm strictly an amplitude modulator on 160.
He was listening to really mean radio on 1920 or 1919 or wherever he is these days.
1.919. I don't remember if I had the SDR on AM or sideband.
11991199.
Yeah, they were sideband.
I copy your 1911.
9999.
My man, what's up?
999.
Billy, not bad.
Yo, I'm still. Wait, why does it say I got 10 watts? Oh, I think I have the Schlug turned around. Gosh darn it. I don't even know what my forward power is. Probably 69 watts, I hope. Let me see.
Man, just listening to the silence doesn't even sound like there should be any Skip, but it's in there apparently.
That's the weird thing, you know. Usually when the Skip conditions are as good as it was to bring him in so strongly, you would think there'd be a half a dozen people all heterodyning with each other, all knocking heads and stuff.
Yeah, but I got a really quiet noise level. I don't hear a whole lot of mess in the background. No Puerto Mexicans or nothing.
The past couple week or so, it's been piss poor with the DX, so surprising.
That's your tail end, right at the very end of the band opening. When somebody gets that strong, that's it. That means you're right at the mute. You get that boost. 10 minutes later, they're gone. And then you might hear some really super long haul stuff.
Yeah, the knee of the mute.
I got like.
All right, gentlemen, I don't mean to cut it short. I want to get in and eat some dinner, but I wanted to jump out of here early and wave a hand at my good old friends on the classic radio roundup.
Wave it right back. Have a good night.
Yep, have yourself a good night there, Bassmaster. Sounding good as always. Thanks for checking in to the classic radio roundup. 27115 on the AM radio dial.
Yep, no doubt. Yep, no doubt.
Catch you later, man.
That was for you there, Dave. I gave you that little bit of Connex-y sound, even though this is not a Connex. But anyway, take care, guys.
Yeah, Connex is just a stripped-out superstar that they removed the sideband in and put an echo board in its place. I don't think that was a good trade, but oh well.
Yeah, I know. We hashed that out one night. That's why I brought it back up, because it's one of them things I know that gets you wound up.
I wouldn't say it gets me wound up. It's just a point of historical reference.
There you go. When I find out things Not to annoy people, but when I find out things people don't like, I like to bring it up. It makes me happy. But anyway, take care, gentlemen. Always a pleasure.
You're Rand McNally.
Mr. Rand McNally, countywide, your Bassmaster Mud Dog Dave May Mobile got down.
All right, Billy, what'd you say?
I think you doubled with Billy.
Billy, I was saying this guy on Channel 6 is brutal, man.
There's a lot of traffic. It ain't easy.
But hey, yo, Dave, I got the Viking 2. It's cranked up to 83 watts of carrier, man. And let's see, 95555. We got 692 watts of PP. Woo! Into the dummy load. And then I turned it down to exactly 4 watts carrier to get on the air. Come on.
That ain't bad, man. That's pretty good. This is a long 76 miles, and you got 874.5 watts of peak power. That's good.
Yeah, man, it's 692 watts of peak power, commode.
Is that what it is? 74 miles between you two?
76.
76 miles. That's something that's an accomplishment on this band to be able to do that regularly. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Billy knows what he's doing.
Well, he's also not in a valley. He's up on that hilltop, which certainly helps. I mean, you know, topography is everything around here.
Well, technically, I'm in a valley on a hilltop.
Well, whatever the case, you're in the right spot. You're not in the wrong one.
No, I bought this place for the spot that it's in, basically. Like, that's it.
Well, when I moved here to where I live, I thought, well, VHF, UHF is out for me, but HF will still work because I can still see the sky.
That's right.
I could do probably pretty well with VHF. When I had a little repeater antenna up at the top of this mast, I basically, like, I couldn't use repeaters because I would hear more than one coordinated repeater on a frequency at the same time. You know, they were coming in that well.
Yeah, that's how my life was where I used to live. It ain't like that here. I can hear the one local repeater and pretty much none of the other ones.
Oh, no.
Can't even hear 220 repeater that's 10 miles away.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
I could hear some dude on Channel 6 going, hello, and where are we, Channel 13?
And that's using a 4-element Yagi.
Yeah, well, that's all they ever do on Channel 6, is make noise.
It's all useless noise. Doesn't mean anything.
No. Bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah, it's a complete waste of electrons.
I think they got their heads too close to their transmitting tubes and, fried their brains.
Maybe they're using Russian tubes too.
You never know.
So what radio are you on tonight, Dave?
Well, that leads into a good story. I initially wanted to run my Midland 13898B, but when I hooked it up, I found out that the upper sideband was dead. And I thought it was still working on AM, but then I go to transmit on it, and that's dead too. The lower side does work, which then means that the carrier oscillator for AM and upper side is down, and probably the crystal went bad or something. So I'm going to have to fix that. But in my haste, I just grabbed the next available radio, which is my Realistic Navajo Pro, TRC-40.
Well, it's sounding good. I just hadn't moved the Regency out of the spot since Sunday night. I figured I'll use it on AM on Wednesday night. Here it is. CR123B, 23 channel, base station Citizens Band radio.
Yeah, it's working with that sidekick. It's a little flatter, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I'd rather use my D104 with it, but my Silver Eagle died, and I hadn't gotten around to doing anything about it.
Well, if it died, then you can't talk about it anymore.
Well, I have to talk about it because I miss it. I have another D104 here with a bad head, and it's got a phono jack on it. I think I'll put a 4-pin on it and just switch the element out. And that'll get me back to using a D104 again, and then I can figure out what's going on with the rest of the Silver Eagle.
Yeah, I've got like 3 different D104s here with bad heads on them, and I just keep swapping my Silver Eagle head on them each one. Because I've got a dedicated mic to the Browning. It's unamplified, a G stand. So I just pop the head on that, and then I've got another mic that's wired to my Simba because it's got a 3-pin plug on it. So that's a dedicated mic too, and it has a bad head. The one from this mic here keeps getting shared.
Yeah, I'll be probably doing something similar. I got 3 D104s and two good heads.
Yeah, I think I even got another D104 stand, another unamplified one down in the basement somewhere. It also has a bad head, and it's like, seems to be a pattern here.
I need to amend that statement. There's 4 D104s. One's for the multi-LMAC, and then the other one's for the Courier. They're both phono plugs, but they're wired differently. And then I have the third D104 that came with the both Couriers came with their own D104s, but one has a bad head, so that one got pushed off to the side, and I just switched the one between the 2 radios. And then I got my Silver Eagle. I don't think the head is dead. I think the amplifier board went, but I'm not certain. I've been too disgusted to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll get there. I've been too busy. Like you gotta pick your electronics repairs selectively with the time that you're given. So it's not high on the priority at the moment. It'll get there. But I've been working on recapping that Heathkit DX100, and that's been taking some time.
Yeah, well, I was expecting the Midland to fail either, But maybe now I'll have a little bit more time to attend to things like that. So hopefully I'll get that back to running again. And if what I suspect is true, is it's probably the carrier oscillator crystal that went bad. And I probably have a spare somewhere. I'll just, pop another one in there.
Well, when you get done with that, then maybe you could take a look at my Courier Centurion 40D.
Well, I did say to Steve the other day, because he was about ready to send that ICO radio back. It had a 60-cycle hum in it, and it sounded kind of boofy, and he wasn't happy with it. But now he thinks he might hold on to it because, I said, maybe you might be able to twist my arm, and I might be able to take it. And he's like, oh, really?
Well, can I get my Courier in line?
Well, maybe so. Like I say, I have to see how things work out in the next couple of weeks. If I land something and I'm back to work, then then all bets are off. But if the prospects dry up and the wife doesn't keep badgering me every day, then.
All I gotta say is it'd be worth me spending shekels to someone I trust to fix that Courier for me.
Might as well bring them both over. That other one's all messed up too. I can fix that.
Yeah, well, that's messed up less. That probably just needs your magic touch alignment. I think that one's messed up less. But the 40D's messed up more. So, yeah, all right, I'll bring them both over.
Yeah, because that other one sounds a little weird on sideband.
Yeah, you said it started to sound a little iffy on AM, too. which didn't used to be the case.
Yeah, that needs a carrier oscillator adjustment because it's thin sounding on sideband. You know, like the carrier oscillator is tuned too far down. Well, that depends on what sideband. I guess it would be up on the lower side. So too much of the pass band in the upper end is there, and not enough on the lower end. So got to readjust that carrier oscillator so it centers up real nice.
All right. Well, I'll bring them both over then. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, one at a time. We'll see how things go.
Well, I mean, I'm not in any kind of super hurry. When you get to them, you get to them, which is fine with me. Because otherwise, you're just going to sit here and I guess at some point I'd be desperate and have to try and do something myself. But the outcome of that is less certain.
Yeah. I have a feeling that the 40D's got a final problem, and that means I'm going to have to order a good final from somewhere. Because I don't have any more spares. I use them all up.
Does that take one of them 19 whatever, 79s or 81s or something like that?
1969s, yeah. They'll take one if it's a good one, not a cheap Chinese knockoff.
I mean, that's what it uses, though.
I think the radio came stock with a 2SC 1307 in it. But the 1307, the 2312, the 1969, they're pretty much exactly the same. They all, you can sub one for the other and it'll work just as well.
See, you already know more about it than I do.
I've been down this road before, many, many times.
Well, that's what I mean. I know that. And if you ever decide that you want to get into doing this again as a sideline, I'll be your shamrock.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about this as time moves on because I'm going to try to sell the idea to the wife. It's like, hey, man, supplemental income.
Yeah, and like I know your wife don't want every stranger coming over. So as long as you got only just one stranger coming over, and that would be me, then like you did with Shamrock.
Yeah, but you're not a stranger, so it wouldn't be so bad.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
She knows you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play the intermediary. People could drop crap off here, and I'll bring it to you.
Yeah, we'll see how. Well, like I said, we'll see how things work. But I'm now exploring other options. I seem to be. I was under the impression that you couldn't collect Social Security at the same time that you're collecting unemployment because unemployment would look at that as income. But I'm getting some research here that seems to say otherwise. So if I can collect both of them, I might not be so bad.
Yeah, well, you could collect other income, but up until to a certain dollar amount until you're 65, and then after that, you can collect. You can earn as much as you want.
No, it's 67 for us younger guys. I'm already 65. But, yeah, that's Social Security. Social Security will take $1 out, $1 out for every $2 over the limit you make. But it's not Social Security I was worried about. It was unemployment. I thought unemployment would look at that as income, and if you're making income, then you're not eligible for unemployment. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, for some reason I got it in my head that it's still like as if you had a job income versus whatever. But yeah, all right, 67. So anyway, I mean, I've been learning all this stuff from the wife and paying attention to what she says. Because she's going down this road now and learning all this. I mean, you two are both the same age, so you're dealing with the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, I got to get my Medicare stuff squared away. I gotta find a nice insurance carrier that will give me a good price on Plan G and get that all squared away. And then I'm gonna go find myself a good doctor and get a whole lot of stuff done.
Well, going back a step or two here, if it makes things easier that I could play intermediary to get radios to you, I'd be glad to play the part. But yeah, maybe you ought to exchange notes with the wife because she just got a Plan G that covers some good stuff at reasonable cost. So I don't know, maybe you could compare notes.
Yeah, I'm just looking for.
by law, the coverages have to be exactly the same. It's just a matter of, one carrier might charge more than another, and I'm looking for the cheapest price.
Yeah, but there's also that is true, but some of them like the coverage quote unquote is the same, the prices vary, but some of them throw in extra perks or not too, like discounts at pharmacies for your other crap that you need.
Oh, that's above and beyond what's required, I guess. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. Well, I just learned that recently that some of them, they're all their coverages are the same. The prices vary. The coverage got to be the same by law, but in that price, they'll throw in other benefits on top of that, other beyond what's required by law.
Yeah, because if you can find one that covers prescriptions, then you don't have to worry about Part D, which is Medicare prescription, which is that one boggles my mind because they have such a variation on plans and the amount of stuff they cover versus deductibles and stuff like that, and and I'm looking at the chart and they're saying, oh, this is your cheapest bet, but the deductible is so high that I wouldn't, the normal medications I get, I would never reach my deductible in a year. And I'm like, well, if I'm paying for this plan and it's not giving me anything back, why am I paying for it?
Yeah, sort of like my healthcare plan right now at work, which is why I'm not even gonna bother using it. That's why I started using the VA. So I got the cheapest plan, but the cheapest plan comes with the freaking highest deductible, which makes it almost useless. So I just go get my care from the VA, and they don't charge me anything for any of it.
Well, you earned that being a proud veteran. You earned that and deserve that. So take advantage of it.
Well, for years I was reluctant to because I figured that there was people that needed it more than I needed it. So, but now it's kind of gotten to the point. Well, I kind of need it because I'm getting screwed otherwise. So I'm just going to take advantage. And so I don't feel like at this point that I'm taking away from somebody else who needs it. I'm just getting my share.
You are very much entitled to that. So don't feel ashamed.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that, and it's taken me a while to come around to that kind of thinking that, but yeah. Well, I appreciate your thoughts on that. It does make me feel better about taking advantage of it.
I think it's horrible the way the government has been treating veterans and overall, and whatever benefits you get, you take and you be happy.
Well, there's a statement that goes around every once in a while that make you think a moment. A veteran at one point in his life signed a blank check to the United States government for any amount up until including the price of his life. And I'm like, that's pretty profound. How many people do that?
Exactly. And because you've done that, I think any veteran that's out there that put their time in for their country, the country ought to be taken care of them. There shouldn't be any homeless veterans. There shouldn't be any of that. And any mental or physical handicaps that they may have earned in their service of the country, they should be taken care of 100%. There should be no there should be no excuse for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Nothing makes me madder than knowing that there's homeless veterans out there. There should not be a homeless veteran unless he absolutely and adamantly chooses to do so out of his own accord. But in any other circumstance, that should be something that doesn't exist, is what it should be. There shouldn't be no such thing as a homeless veteran.
Good evening. Oh, there's Bite Buster.
Howdy, Bite Buster.
Hey, check out that link I just sent you guys in Facebook.
I'm looking at it here.
Oh, my phone's upstairs and I'm not traveling until my drink is empty. But since we're breaking topic, where's Wayne?
Nah, prescription drugs.
I'm right here listening.
631.
Unbelievable.
Hello, 631. Well, we got the Bite Buster talking. Wayne's checking in. Hiya, Wayne. So I'm gonna let the Bite Buster carry on for the moment. He's going on something here.
I'm gonna have to check this out. I'll be right back. I want to grab something real quick while I'm remembering it and carry on.
I got such bad bleed over, so I can't tell if who's talking or what, but it's channel 14 for me. Anyway, check out that site and pop in a medication if you're taking one, and you'll see the difference. It's unbelievable.
I got a pretty good copy on you tonight there, Bite Buster, at the moment. I had to bleed over earlier, but I don't have any right now. Everything okay over there, Wayne? Oh, no.
No, I'm here. I'm just grabbing my bottle to fill my drink back up.
Yeah, 10-4. I filled my drink up at the top of the hour. Carry me to the next top of the hour. For the next top of the hour, I'll have to make one more trip. But yeah, that's good. As long as I know I'm not drinking alone.
You're not tonight.
How about it, 5-7?
Yeah, I second the. Where's your son-in-law guy? Where is he?
I don't know. He usually pops in about now. I don't know. He starts jumping up and down, though. You'll know it.
Is he actually at work? He might be actually working.
Well, he may show up to work. I don't know if he actually does any work.
That really is none of my business, but I wonder if he's at work.
I don't know. He'll let us know when he's around. If he's near the microphone, he's gonna jump up and down and let you know he's around. So there's no need to call him out, because he'll let you know.
Roger, right on. Well, I hear 631 jumping up and down out there. I got 842 watts. Yeah, that's pretty good, Billy.
How about that worldwide panty snatcher mobile out there, 631? I'm trying.
I hear you, man. It ain't easy, though.
Where are you at, son-in-law? Where's my son-in-law, that panty snatcher 64? Are you working? Can you play radio? Or you gotta wait till the boss lets you play radio? Come in!
You gotta call him like this. How about that worldwide panty snatcher mobile?
All I gotta say is, yo, it's your father-in-law. Get your ass on the radio. Or I'm not giving your wife any allowance this month.
Oh, damn.
No extra money for you. Oh, man. You been on HF at all recently there, Wayne?
I get on 40 meters a lot and listen.
10-4. Well, I'm glad you're getting use out of it then. That's a good deal.
Yeah, I don't even need to run the tuner as long as I'm under, 7,200?
I think it was 72.25 or something like that. Yeah, 72.25 down to 71.25. You don't even need a tuner.
Yeah, I know. I've been finding that out.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You got a whole 100 kilohertz there. You don't need a tuner. It's awesome.
And then I got the tuner if I need it.
Yeah, but for listening, obviously you can listen to anywhere you want. It works fine. I'm glad it's working out for you and you're enjoying it. Good deal.
Yeah, I'm going to start listening on 20 and 15 meters too.
Oh man, Wayne's in the mud.
Not here, he's not.
Well, I wouldn't think so, but he's like a 5.
Well, this is my barefoot radio, Dave.
Yeah, 2.5 watts.
It's 2 watts dead key and about 10 watts RMS.
What are you on that Ranger?
Yeah, correct. I'm on a Ranger.
That thing sounds really good. There's no crunchiness or nothing. It's clean. Yeah, that thing sounds good.
That's the way I set it up.
Thanks for spraying it the other day. It cleaned everything up.
That Deoxys stuff is pretty good.
Worked like a charm here for me. I can see it on my meter now, and I'm not seeing any kind of crackling or stuff like that. It's working.
Here's a little bit, so I think I'm gonna slide out of here.
Say again, 631. A local cut you out.
The static background here is starting to fatigue my ears a little bit after some time now, so I think I'm gonna slide on out of here, man.
All right. Well, good to have you in here, Billy. Glad you can make it on the Classic Radio Roundup, and we'll look for you on Sunday then on the medium wave.
Yeah, man, will do. I'll be there, and I'll try to get back on next week with, a little more juice here. I just got to drop the antenna and play with it a little more, but it's a work in progress. All right, 631, New Jersey. See you later, Classic Radio Roundup.
Well, you know what they say. If you shake it more than 3 times, you're playing with it.
See you later, Dave.
Talk to you next time.
Will do. See you next time.
7-3.
7-3.
Man, I ain't got no noise tonight. Man, it's pretty nice tonight. There's the occasional rise in background skip, but it's not annoying or disruptive.
Yeah, I think the skip kind of died a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of, I think I'm getting scratched from somewhere. Maybe 14 or something, but other than that, yeah. One of the neighbors' water heaters or something was running. I was getting that hash noise for a bit, but now that's gone.
Yeah, my water heater's still running. It runs for a while. It'll shut off before 10 o'clock, but could be 10 minutes, could be 20 minutes, could be half an hour from now, but it'll shut off eventually. You take one shower and the thing runs for a while, but it's like pennies for operation.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the whole point. It's extremely efficient.
And the noise that it does make changes. It's not as loud now as what it was when it started. It's sort of, the longer it runs, the quieter it gets. So I guess you don't hear it as bad, but I'm sure you still hear it.
Yeah, but it's not objectionable. I hear it in the background, but it's not, it's not, right in your face kind of like it was before you turn the mic down.
Yeah, the pitch of the sounds that it makes changes. Like it changes sounds. Like it starts out kind of screaming and then backs off from that screaming.
Yeah, I guess it's getting tired.
I don't know. All I know is the thing was damn expensive when I bought it, but it's more than paid for itself.
Well, that's the thing. It's a very super efficient design, but there's no saying that the water tank itself isn't going to rust out and spring leaks and require replacement any later.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty high quality, so it should last a while. all that aside, I'm surprised that these style heaters aren't more popular.
Well, just a simple answer for that. They're too expensive for most people.
It was no more expensive than those tankless instant on things that people are buying.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe they're not. A lot of people aren't aware of them. They're not sold at Home Depot. I don't.
No, they're not sold at Home Depot, and then that's my thought. People just must not be aware that these exist.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Because whenever I bring it up to somebody and tell them about it, they never heard of it. So that must be the case. For well water, I got pretty soft water. And generally speaking, for well water, it's soft water. I mean, it's not soft water as soft water is, but in that realm of well water, it's in the soft neighborhood. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and yet I've got city water and it's hard as a rock.
Yeah, we got really good well water here. It's amazing how good our water is.
I get mineral deposits all over everything. And I've got a water softener, but the wife keeps making me turn it down because when it regenerates and what makes the water nice and soft, it's too slimy. I can't get the soap off it. Oh man.
It's funny. That's funny because I don't have a water softener and I have no deposits on my shower head, my spigots, or none of that. None of that problem.
Because your water is softer than mine is.
that my well water is softer than your municipal water. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, well, they don't care out here.
I change my water filter every 3 months, and whenever I change it, I think to myself, why am I even changing it? The thing don't even look dirty. I mean, there's a little bit of stuff on there, but it could go longer than 3 months for sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of sediment or whatever. The wife is like, that's one of her little funny pet peeves. It's funny because I should be the one that is, but it's not. But she puts it in the freaking calendar, so my phone goes ding. Time to change the air and water filters. She puts it in my calendar.
Well, there you go.
So then I know it's time to change the air and the water filters. All right, I'll keep you happy.
Good evening, y'all.
There he is. Old Jack.
Yes, indeed. A little late there tonight, but I made the appearance anyway. Hope things are going all well. Hello to everybody that's out there.
Hello there, JR.
Hello, JR.
You'll let anybody on here.
Yeah, even you.
By golly, listen to that.
Oh, and I was told by Mr. Train earlier that he will not be in here tonight.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's got a family engagement that he's got to attend, so that comes first.
Yeah, he dropped the radio off here, and I missed him by 10 minutes. The wife came home and wanted to go to lunch, and he was on his way over, and I thought she was going to be later than what she was. And quick turnaround and everything. Anyway, he dropped off a night kit radio receiver to pair up with that Heath kit, so I got to check that thing out. I haven't had a chance yet. Hope it works.
Night kit, huh?
Yeah, R100, I think that's it. I had one.
that a tuber?
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice.
I had one, and there was something wrong with it. It worked, but it didn't work that well. That's probably why I sold it. I probably could have figured it out now, but I couldn't figure it out then.
As long as it's not a regenerative receiver.
No, it's not regenerative. It's actually pretty big. Not quite as big as the National, but not much smaller.
Well, it's interesting that it's a 100 to go with the DX 100.
Yeah, I was just double checking. Yeah, it's Night Kit R100A to go with his DX 100. That is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the 100 twins.
Thing's got a Q multiplier and all kinds of crazy QVC modes and stuff.
Yeah, the Q multiplier is kind of like equivalent to the modern day variable filters.
Yeah, that's right.
Gives you some extra selectivity.
Yeah, it should pair up real nice with that Heath kit.
I would think so. Especially if if it's got like a strip on the back with mutant and all that other stuff to make it, mateable to a transmitter.
Yep, that's right.
You can put a capacitor on it and make it sound like a Browning.
Ha 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 ha. I never knew anybody who did anything like that.
Oh, no. They would get a demerit.
Oh, no, not one of them. Anything but a demerit.
I think I got my share of demerits last week.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Uh-oh.
You remembered.
If you get too many demerits, you can kick me out of Classic Radio Roundup.
Oh, no.
Well, as long as you're not running a Connex.
No, there'll never be a Connex in my radio room. Unless somebody gives me one. If somebody gives me one, but even then it probably won't stay long.
If somebody gives me one, I'll fix it up real nice and sell it. Sell it to a down-getter.
Exactly.
Oh, man. A down-getter.
Wave hander.
That's right. Wave hander, reed mailer, whatever.
No, I'd rather use my TRC 441 3-knob radio than a Connex.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I'd rather run this Navajo Pro, man, from 1972.
Yeah, I could be happy with just this Regency CR 123B with my factory unlocked clarifier on sideband.
Yeah, this radio has an appeal to me because it might be the very first 4-watt CV radio I ever talked on.
God, how do you remember stuff like that?
Well, that 441 holds a place for me because that was the first radio, base station, plug it in the wall radio I ever bought.
Yeah. There's a Midland 13, I think it's an 873 mobile sideband. I think that might be the first one I ever talked on. Belonged to somebody else I knew. And I was in his car, but then the first base would have been this one. This belonged to another friend of mine. Yeah. As a 13-year-old kid, yeah, this was kind of awesome.
Well, I was 16 when I got my TRC 441. Bought it with my own money. My first plug-it-in-the-wall radio. Actually, the first one that wasn't a family radio. This one was my radio.
I'm still afeared to plug my radio into the wall. Come here.
You got a variac, right?
Actually, yes, I do.
Oh, there you go. Just bring it up slowly.
I'll be using my variac to bring that DX100 back online after I do all these capacitors, just to be sure I didn't screw nothing up.
That's not the way you do that with tube rectifiers.
Say what?
You do not use a variac with tube rectifiers because the cathodes on those rectifiers do not like being run at lower emission than they're designed for. So the only way you can use a variac on something that has a tube rectifier is you have to replace the tube rectifiers with solid state ones. Otherwise, don't use a variac.
Oh, I did not know that. All right, slam on then.
That's interesting. That's first I've heard that too.
Yeah. Well, you have, what is there, 5R4 GY or a pair of 5V? I forget what's in the DX100. It's been years since I looked inside of one of them. But anyway, if you do not run those suckers at whatever it is, 5 volts, you can sandblast the cathode.
Well, I appreciate that information. Yeah, there's one 5V4 and two 5R4s.
That's it. A pair of 5R4s, I think, in parallel. Or, I don't know, used as a full wave center tap. That's it. Now I remember.
Yeah, full wave.
Yep. Pair of tubes and a center tap transformer. Full wave all the way.
Yeah, it's very much the same, similar setup that the B&W uses for high voltage and medium voltage.
First thing I do with a rig like that is I take the rectifiers out and throw them over my left shoulder.
You know, I wanted to do that, and with the B&W, and I was able to do that on the medium voltage and replace it with rectifier diodes that I did that, and that worked. And I tried to do that with the two rectifiers for the high voltage, didn't like it. I don't know how to overcome it, so it's got tubes.
What do you mean it didn't like? How did it tell you?
It went, I don't remember exactly, but it didn't work and it didn't like it. I know that much. I know it was like not a very good outcome.
You didn't have enough diodes in series. Probably were using like 4 or 5 per leg. You probably needed 8.
No, I went so far as to buy commercial diodes on sockets that were supposed to be plug-in replacements. That didn't work either. Didn't like it.
Well, you might have got dud parts. Always better making your own rectifier stacks. You take a bunch of diodes and you solder them in series. Why do people put those on circuit boards? Why?
Well, I started out with my own and didn't like it. I thought, well, maybe I'm screwed up. So I bought the commercial plug-in ones. And whatever way it's doing at full wave or whatever it's doing, it didn't like it. It was okay with the single plug-in. It didn't like the two plug-ins for the high voltage, so I just abandoned it.
Well, you're listening to a bunch of diodes soldered in series. They're all soldered in series, baby. They're hanging in midair. Yes, sir. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, now maybe that I got you on tap that I can pick your brain. At some point, I'm going to revisit this issue because I would like the solid state, the high voltage on the B&W, and then maybe I'll learn something and could do it on the Heath kit too. Because I have the medium voltage solid stated, just the high voltage is not, because either I was doing something wrong, the commercial people are doing something wrong, that circuit needs to see something different arrangement. I don't know. I'm not I'm not that kind of electronics technician, like to figure that out. I thought I had it figured out. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. It didn't work. That's all I can tell you. I don't remember the details because we're talking, it was years ago now. But I know CVJ there, Dave, he remembers me going down this road talking about it.
Uh-huh. And I thought maybe it was in some kind of weird voltage doubler or something. I don't know what, but it doesn't make any sense why it didn't work.
Well, anybody can benefit from my trials and tribulations with high voltage and carrying heavy transformers that I blew up and throwing them out. I'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to solid state the high voltage on the B&W. I would love to do that, but there's something that needs to be arranged circuit-wise that I wasn't doing correctly, and I don't know what it was. And the plug-ins that were direct replacements for 5R4s, that didn't work neither.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Something misapplied, misapplication, wrong part number, something silly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, that was probably closing in on 10 years ago now that I was fooling around with that. And, well, the 5R4s haven't let me down in 10 years, so I haven't been really motivated to do anything about it.
You probably got like 30 countries on AM with that.
Oh, easily.
I wonder if it might have something to do with the actual voltage, because usually when you solid state formerly tube rectified power supply, the voltage goes up, somewhat. Maybe there was something there that didn't like increased voltage.
I don't remember. I really don't remember the details, so I can't really say what I remember that it was that it didn't like. But there was something, whether it was noises, there was no. Anything would be just guessing at this point. But I know it didn't work. It did not work, and it sounded like the radio was unhappy.
Yeah, we all know it's not good to have an unhappy radio.
Almost sounds like one side of the rectifiers wasn't working. If it sounded unhappy.
Yeah, and then I even, I like had these really beefy diodes that were like, I don't know. Don't quote me on this, but they were like overrated for the job. I know they were like overrated. Big beefy things. And I put them in there. I didn't like them either. I didn't like anything I did diode arrangement wise. So whether it needed a different kind of arrangement or what, I don't know I don't know. I just like that. The tubes work, so guess what? We're sticking with tubes. We're not solid stating it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, 40 years of throwing out every tube rectifier or giving it away to people, bigger ones who like to look at the color when they glow because they're purple, man. Like I said, you're listening to it. And here they are.
I've had success solid stating more than one rectifier circuit, but always a single tube circuit, a single rectifier tube, and then rectifying it solid state. I've done that with power supplies in the past and other radios and even the medium voltage on the B&W. And then the B&W double rectifier, first time I ever run into that for the high voltage, and I tried doing it and it didn't work. I've always had success, like I said, with the single tube solid stating it, but with this double tube solid stating it, something didn't work out. I couldn't tell you what.
The biggest problem with the tube rectifiers and 50s ham transmitters is the cathode of the rectifiers, the actual heater winding for that cathode is on the low voltage transformer, and it's got to have an insulation that's rated at, like 1200 volts or something like that because of spikes. And it's old transformers with pitch and enamel wire, and they fail after a while. So when you solid state it, if you do it right, you can disconnect that crap. You don't have to worry about crapping out your low voltage transformer. It's got the bias winding and a low voltage winding and all the filament windings on it. That's really good reason to go over to solid state rectifiers.
Well, you also got to consider that my transformers in the B&W are all brand new. They were all rewound, so we're not talking 70-year-old transformers. They're only, well, now, although they were brand new 10 years ago.
Well, that's a whole different story, but almost nobody does that unless you have a Collins 32V, in which case, because all of those low voltage ones crapped out. But other than that,
yeah, my transformers didn't actually crap out. Well, not my power transformers. My modulation transformer looked like the 4th of July. So I thought, well, while I'm sending one out, let's send them all out. And I'm glad I did, because less than a year after the guy sent them back rewound, he retired. And now I don't know, don't even know where to get it done at.
now you got to talk for another 50 years on that to wear it out.
Oh, yeah, well, I know the B&W is going to outlive me.
That may not be saying much.
Outlive me. And some of the trees I'm planting out back this year are going to outlive me. And a lot of stuff's going to outlive me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, the B&W lasted 70 years before it set off fireworks out of the modulation transformer. It's pretty well completely rebuilt. So it's got another 60 years left in it, and I don't.
Yeah, but whatever years you got left, you know. Anyway. Hey, Bagger, you're not aimed at me anymore.
I'm not what?
Said you're not aimed at me.
No, I'm not. I'm back to pointing east.
Yeah. Anyway, I still hear you. That, what is that, a Pro 9er, you said?
On the radio, it's a Navajo Pro. It's the one with the clocking and not the Channel 9 monitor.
Yeah. I remember those. Somebody gave me one of those to put 22A in back when I was a kid. Yeah, cool beans, man. Well, anyway, good to hear you on here.
Yeah, 22A is easy in this radio. I think it's just a jumper you cut or a resistor. Because I think I put it in here.
Yep, that was the best. There's a resistor. I'm like, ooh, what could be easier than this?
Yeah. It's one of the older styles where all they did was short out the synthesizer in that position. It was real easy to defeat.
Sometimes I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about all those crystal frequencies, you know, like 37850.
Yeah. 37, 600, 650, 700, 750. Yeah.
Yeah, and what rock do you need for all the A channels?
Yeah, right. That would be, what, 10.180? No. 170, 160, geez, I don't remember now, but yeah, it's one of them.
I'd have to actually look that one up, because that's gone.
Yeah, I didn't have it all memorized, but yeah.
Anyway, let me shut up here for a bit. There's probably some guys up there who want to get in here. 5 out 7.
Yeah, it reminds me of my exploits, you know, when I was a dumb 15-year-old and had my Comstat 25, and I wanted to get the A channels in it. And I took a big pen and wrapped about 100 turns of Beltel wire around it and put it across a 365 picofarad AM radio tuning capacitor and stuck that in parallel with the crystal. And lo and behold, and that thing would drop like 15 kilohertz, man. I was like, yes, I got to the A channels.
That's funny, because most people used to wind the coil around a pencil and then put some tape around it, pull the pencil out, and jam like, maybe 50 puff red slicer in series with it. But anyway, whatever worked. Sounds like somebody's trying to break in there.
I just got bleed over. That's all I got. I don't hear any breakers.
There's somebody's face just right, and I just can't hear you. Sorry, there's just not enough signal. Nope, can't make it out. I got to get some better equipment.
Yeah, you got to stop running all that junk you got over there.
Oh, man. What you talking about? Junk.
Yeah, should I be fortunate to have such junk?
One man's junk is another man's treasure.
Don't forget, all this junk over here is completely hacked from what it was originally designed to do.
That's why it works so well.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to hack it to make it do something else. I'm only smart enough to make it work as it was designed to do.
Yeah, but that's not what you did for a living, so you could probably modify like a boiler or something that you know what you could do so you couldn't blow up one side of somebody's whole entire neighborhood. I don't know about that. Radio stuff, that's different.
Oh, I know how to excite the generator to put out more watts when we need it.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I know how to get more horsepower out of that diesel too to make more watts.
Well, that's valuable, man, because sometimes you got to break through to the other side, like Jim Morrison said.
And I know how to get more flow out of the boiler when you need that little extra bit of boiler flow till you get the next boiler on to make up what you really need.
Yeah, I couldn't do that, man. I would be definitely afraid to try to crank up that kind of stuff, man. I'd hit the knob and I'd run.
Boilers are fun. I get to play with fire and controlled explosions on a daily basis. It's really not that difficult. All I do is boil water for a living.
It's some of
And you can't even make a decent cup of tea.
Fire up the emergency power generator, 500 kilowatts, with transfer switches, and run everything in the facility off of that crap. And we had these giant flywheel UPSs. They ran 7,700 RPMs, and if you lost your mains power, they would provide enough energy for the whole entire plant for about 25 seconds till the generator started up and spooled up. I think that was about the scariest crap, because the transfer switch was this big thing mounted on a wall, and you could see it move.
500 kilowatts? 500 kilowatts? That's my black start diesel. That's the diesel to start my diesel. I make 5 megawatts on diesel power.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But were you in a skyscraper at 976 feet above the sidewalk?
500 kilowatts? I need that to power my house.
His crap was all retrofitted into a freaking skyscraper where there's no escape if something goes wrong. Thank you.
Well, that part's pretty cool. You know, I mean, there's if there's some inherent danger, if your crap don't work right, to me, that's what living's all about.
I was up there in Hurricane Sandy, and I hung a plumb bob 10 feet from the ceiling and recorded it with my phone. Called the building engineer the next day. Like, do you realize how much sway this thing is got? And it's not supposed to move. It's not designed to move. They're like, we'll look into it.
Where the place I was working during Hurricane Sandy was the only place on the Northeast Corridor that still had the lights on.
I get that, man, because I looked out my window looking at substations blowing up all over New Jersey. Out my window, sitting there with my feet up, like I'm trapped here for the next 4 days. Man, the funniest thing I did during Hurricane Sandy was I was walking back to my hotel room from the Empire State Building, and there was this pile of crap that blew off of a roof, and it was in the middle of the street. Here comes this cop, turns on his lights, and he's parked in back of the pile of crap so nobody else runs into it. And there's nobody else on the road. And I'm walking. I'm on foot. And I walk up to the guy. I'm like, hey, not for nothing, officer, but there's a bunch more stuff on that roof that could blow over, and you're right in the same place, and maybe you should not be here.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Dave remembers this when it was going on. Prior to Hurricane Sandy, my facility that I was at was starting to move production and research out to other facilities, namely down south, because it was quote unquote cheaper. So they were farming all this stuff out, moving it around, and getting it out of there, and this and that. Then Hurricane Sandy came along, and all those other facilities lost power for days. They lost production. They lost research projects that, they can't have change conditions for years. One power outage and their research experiment is done and they got to start all over. 10-year experiment. We kept the lights on, not a blip, not a loss in any kind of power or heating, cooling, none of it. Kept the lights on. All of a sudden, all kinds of investment came back to the site. All kinds of research came back to the site. Production came back to the site. They started building more buildings. And they were like, the only facility here in our company in the entire Northeast that didn't lose power. Maybe you guys got something going on here.
Yeah, big diesel locomotive engine.
No, that's the gas turbines that we had.
There's a giant sign out front that says Pete was right, and he got a raise.
65 megawatts of gas turbine power.
Yeah, that's serious stuff when it's done right, Pete.
And then they knife you in the back.
Well, at least I retired with my full pension, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah, you get robbed of that.
I was glad to get out of there, to be honest, because the whole management changed. It was giving me migraines, and yeah, it was just not fun to work at anymore. The equipment was great. The plant I loved. The people that I worked with and worked for, not so much.
Yeah, stay in your swim lane.
Yeah, you remember that.
Yeah.
Telling me to stay in my swim lane. Like this is my lane.
What do I need a lane for? I got the whole pool.
Yeah, you're out of your work area. What do you mean I'm out of my work area? This entire complex is my work area. What do you mean?
Yeah, it only takes one jackass manager to ruin it for everybody.
You're only here to turn things off and turn things on. This is not your equipment. Like, oh, all right. Remember you said that.
Man, do I understand that.
Like we all took ownership of the place. Like we ran it like it was ours. I mean, because kind of it is, right? While you're working there. I mean, like not literally, but at least figuratively that it was our equipment. And then this new manager comes in and says, "This is not your gear. This is our gear. You're here to turn it on and turn it off." I'm like, all right, that's the way you want it.
Just remember the last 10 guys that thought they were going to come in here with no real knowledge of anything who were going to make it streamlined. If it were so easy to make it cheaper and faster, Don't you think they could have done it before you got here, Sparky?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, it's one of those scenarios. We'll give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Yeah, fair-haired college boy.
Nothing better than sending a jackass manager out back into the universe from whence they came.
Just leave me alone and let me do my job, and we'll get along fine. You get up my ass, then you only want me to turn things on and turn things off? All right, fine. I'll sit here and wait for it to die.
I can work as directed, but I don't recommend that.
Yeah, right?
JR, that's fresh in your memory.
Oh, yeah. Fresh in my memory. I forgot about it already.
Good for you, man. Happy retirement.
Yeah, that's a good deal in a way. Now your life is your own.
Oh, yeah. I get pretty busy during the day. I don't have a problem. Believe me, I'll always find something to do. Well, I hope anyway. So yeah, it's nice not having to get up early in the morning now.
I know I'll always find myself something to do. There's never a problem with me entertaining myself. Even if I choose to do nothing, it's still my choice.
It's just a different style. But yeah, everything's all set, you know. It didn't take me long at all there, Dave, to get through Social Security. I got the pink slip on Friday, and Tuesday I was officially on board with their checking date and everything else when it's coming in, how much, Plan B, got all that stuff. It's 1, 2, 3, man. I was in.
Today was my last day.
For the rest of your life.
I don't know about that, but
If I catch you guys trying to start an argument with people on Channel 19,
that means I got too much time on my hands.
Well, I'm being selfish and kind of hoping that CBJ don't find any employment soon, then he can go back to fixing our radios for us.
Quick channel 13.
that might be fun.
so
You ain't the first one that said that. That's the second time I heard that this week.
I'm not surprised by it. I think I heard a break.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Top Gun up here in Maple Grove.
Yo, Top Gun, how are you, buddy? Spitfire, right back at you. Sounding good.
What's going on, Spitfire?
Oh, man, it's been a while. Hope all's well on your end. Sounding good.
Yeah. Doing the same old. JR, Uncle Dave, how you guys doing?
Just Ducky.
Hey, good evening there, Mr. Top Gun. Good to hear you in there. Surprise. Yeah, 10-4.
Get that trailer ready for the season?
Yep, we're all ready to go.
All right.
We did that, me and the two younger girls did that 2 weeks ago. Opened her up, got her ready, and we're set.
Hey, 507, can you hear him, Top Gun?
no. But he's right at the noise level, so a very slight increase would put him up there.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, me too. You got any more in reserve there, Top Gun? You can turn it up, because 507's down there around the Mason-Dixon line.
507. Hey, 507, you got a copy of 114 up here in Pennsylvania?
Well, he's actually slightly closer in air miles, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe different direction, whatever. Off the side of his beam too much. Yeah. Now, he said he was right on the fringe. He can tell you're there, but he can't tell what you're saying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's running a beam too. So yeah, he's probably off the side of it.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah, because he's like more south of you, as it were, right, Dave?
What? South of Top Gun?
No, you're Top Gun south of you.
No, he's more southwest of me.
Well, yeah, southwest. But what I mean, he's south of you, though.
Yeah, southish.
So he's probably more off to the side of 507's beam, so that explains that. Top Gun, if you had more in reserve to crank it up, you'd probably get down there to Mason-Dixon line. If not, no biggie. Just checking to see if you could do it.
Yeah, I can't. I'm actually barefooted right now. Well, at least it's working. Well, I hope it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's working.
I was just told I have to be quiet, so I think I'm going to get up one out of the way. Nice chatting with you guys, and I'll talk at you later.
Hey, man, thanks for stopping by anyway, letting us know you're still around. Good to hear from you there, Top Gun. Take care and enjoy. Hope to hear from you before too long. Next time around, Countywide Radio.
Hey, Top Gun, take care. You know, it's okay with me if you sit her down in the chair. Just tell her, I'll be a few minutes, hon. I'll catch you later. Have a good one.
There's a whole lot of characters missing this week that were out here last week.
Yeah, I was listening to the gate. It was a mess last week. A lot of skip and all kinds of nonsense going on.
Yeah, a lot of freaking locals. There was a ton of locals in here last week.
But definitely busy. That I can tell you.
That was double.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I said it was definitely busy. That I can tell you. It was condensed.
All right. I heard you the first time. Who was the double?
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it must have been somebody closer to Dave because I didn't hear a double.
Hey, JR.
Hey-ho!
Yeah, I'm rolling some footage here, man.
Rolling some footage. Okay. Roll in, roll in.
999.
Not going to roll too far.
And I got my Texas Ranger used as a receiver along with the Johnson transmitter. This is like some forlorn CB radio that wound up in a pile somewhere, but it's got a good receiver.
There you go.
You gotta
999.
whatever one works the best. It's funny, you know, some of them have better filtering than others. And I can pick it out, you know, between all this junk in here. Same thing. I got my favorite receiver. But yeah, good deal.
It's one of the first things I learned about radio. Not all receivers are created equal. And if it can't receive, I don't care what it does on transmit.
You can say that again. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I can remember that back in the day when everybody was within 2 miles of everybody else, and most people were a mile or less, and we didn't care about receivers. And the only thing that mattered was bleed over rejection. That was the one and only thing people look for in receivers. Now it's totally different. You know, the receiver is the most important feature.
Yeah, receiver is most important, and then it's got to sound good on transmit. But if it doesn't receive, the transmit, I don't care what it does. Sorry, moving on.
Biggest problem is you could have the best receiver on planet Earth. If somebody's putting out crap all over the spectrum, you can't fix that. But a lot of people don't understand that.
Oh, that's also true.
Yeah, and you got to be able to realize they're all limited with dealing with crap. You can't get rid of crap that's on your frequency from another frequency that came onto your frequency. There's nothing you can do about it.
Well, looking at Dave's page there that he put up and stuff that happened back when, I remember stuff. I can write a bunch of stuff like that too. I don't have that much talent in writing, but I got a lot of stories like anybody else. I remember people in the next town moving on to the next channel where we were and all expecting interference-free operation and then bitching, well, you guys are bleeding us and blah, 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 blah. You know, they're using crappy radios. And It's all hobby radio.
There were so many arguments that it spawned because of bleed over. You know, I used to live near Norristown at the time, and that the town had so many people on. You used to call it Bleed City if you drove through there because there were people operating on, a handful of different channels, and it is just constant bleed over.
I'm thinking it'd be fun to go to the graveyard with one of those key down rigs, the Suburban, and be like, hey, you want some bleed over now?
Yeah, nobody did that back then. Back then, if you had 200 watts, you were like a god.
Yeah, I remember my first amplifier that I got that worked was like a pair of 6JU6s. Somebody gave me to fix, and I copied the whole thing and built one of my own. And I was like, yeah.
I did the exact same thing. I had my first amplifier was a Context 6706 with a pair of 6JG6s in it, and I copied the schematic into it and built my own. And then I ended up trading the one I built to somebody, and he gave me a brand new SBE Cortez for it.
You trade up, but did you really trade up?
Well, considering I was 15 years old and I was, within 6 months of getting a car, I'm thinking I need a radio for the mobile.
Yeah, just imagine trying to get this across to kids who all hang out on social media. This was social media back in 1975.
Absolutely, it was. This was the place to be, man.
Yeah, it was housewives all day, and then it was everybody else at night. Kids, parents, everybody. Everybody was on at nighttime. Every channel had its different group, whether it was preteens, teens, adults, women. The women were on all day long, though.
Yeah, they'd be there with their cup of coffee and their cigarettes.
If I knew then what I know now. Never mind.
Oh, I agree with that statement. Didn't realize how good it was in the mid to late 70s, early 80s. I didn't realize how good it was until it all went away.
Yeah, well, you can blame the skip for that. The sunspot cycle peaked, in the late 70s, and it was S9 heterodyne all day long. People got tired of the noise, and they just sold out.
Well, I guess the timing was good because 83 is when I went to Uncle Sam's Canoe Club, and there was no CB radio for me for a while. I mean, I always had one in the car, but I didn't have the knowledge. I just had one of them crappy center loaded, 9-inch things or whatever from Radio Shack, So I had, some crappy antenna, but I always had a good, decent radio. I ran a 422A for a long time and some other stuff I don't remember, but anyway, I mean, I was always good for like 3, 4, or 5 miles kind of thing.
Oh, you had one of those 18-inch gutter mounts, huh? Those things are crappy.
Yeah, center-loaded gutter mounts. But I ran one of them for a while, and it suited my needs at the time because I only needed it when I was traveling or at a new locale just to meet people or whatever locally. So it served my needs at the time. But then after, a while, I realized that there's better than this. But for the longest time, that's all I had was center-loaded crappy antenna and a 4-watt radio.
Hey, whatever it takes, man.
Hey, I used no, that was a better antenna. The very first time I met you guys, I think it was before I even moved to Bridgeport. I had my '66 Ford Econoline. I was living in Quakertown, but I was over where the repeater site was at my cousin's house, and I parked up on that hill there, and I had one of them 62-inch fiberglass Radio Shack antennas in the center of my truck cab, and my TRC 422A. And I was up there talking to Wayne.
Yeah, I think that's probably when we first started talking to you. I remember you were mobile before you weren't.
Yeah, I was mobile before I had my base again when I moved to Bridgeport. But I was living in a girl's house in Quakertown at the time. But spent a lot of time over to cousin's house, and I used to go park on that hill because I knew height was might. And 4-watt radio and that 62-inch fiberglass antenna on that 66 Ford Econoline, I thought that was pretty good talking from Skip back to Norristown.
Yeah, the early 80s were kind of fun too, because that's when I got my first decent-sized mobile amplifier. It was a Golden Eagle 500, one driving 4, and I had a what they call a Moonraker 6 mobile antenna. It was 6 feet long, and I had it drilled into the cab of my pickup truck. And boy, did I used to light stuff up with that thing. Somebody I knew had one of those little neon bulbs, stuck to the top of their 102-inch whip, and I could light it up brighter than they could from 30 feet away.
Demoralize the opposition.
What's that?
I said demoralize the opposition.
Yeah.
And then I got my house in Bridgeport and really met you guys. And then the leash was off.
Yeah, you and Happy Goer.
Yeah, and Log Splitter selling me an amplifier.
Good old Don. I bought a car from him. Old Fiat Spider.
Yep, my first amplifier came from the Gilch. And that was what, 1993, 94, something like that?
Yeah, he was a character.
Man, that man had the gift of gab. But most of his gab was, well, my watt meter says this, my SWR meter says this, and let me try this, and he would go on and on about his meter readings. Like, can we actually have a conversation?
Yeah, he was consumed by certain things.
yeah, but he was a decent guy for sure, and he could talk, but sometimes he'd talk about a whole lot of nothing.
Well, folks, I got to hit the road here. Got to go recharge. So, Classic Radio Roundup has been wonderful. Bagger, Pete, JR, everybody else who's still out there, thank you, and we'll do it again next time. 5-7 down here on the Macy-Dixie line. Nice to be able to talk to you Yankees.
All right, man. Good hearing you again. You've become quite the regular. That's a good thing. I'll catch you later.
All right, good night there, Dave. Good fun on the radio again tonight, and hopefully we'll get to do some more of that on Sunday night. Until then, 73. Yeah, thanks for being here on a Classic Radio Roundup.
All right, Dave. We'll catch you later. Y'all come back now, you hear? We'll see you. Have a good one.
Waxing nostalgic on Classic Radio Roundup.
Yeah. A lot of nostalgia. Yeah.
Man, no 123, no Goose, no Skyrider. What's the status on his antenna?
Oh, it's up. He got his antenna up. It's cooking. It's working good for him. It looks good too. I went by there the other day and saw it for the first time, and yeah, he did a nice job. It's up and running, and he says it's doing everything you dreamed of.
You think he'd be here checking things out?
Maybe he's on 10 meters.
Could be. You know, I don't know. He popped in. What's the day? Wednesday? I think it was Monday night. Caught him in there. Monday and Tuesday actually. He popped in here for a bit. Train was in there last night, lightning rod, but there wasn't much. Really not a whole lot of activity there, you know.
Yeah. Well, what Train told me, he said that Goose blew up his 8-pill. Maybe that's why he's not been around.
Nah, not that I know of. No, he had an antenna issue. That's down, and they're redoing the landscape and did his driveway, so they got all that construction in there, so he can't put it back up until them guys are all done clowning around.
I thought he said that he pulled into his driveway or did something crazy and hit his guy wire and he pulled his antenna down by accident.
Well, that he did do, but he can't put it back up until them guys are done. He's all ready to put it back up, but them guys came in there and did some wall work on the house and put a new driveway in there and redid sidewalks. So it's all, you know, all kinds of junk, I guess, equipment and whatever else they got going. He has to wait till they're done. I guess he took it down at the right time, but just a little different, that's all.
Yeah, but he didn't need to take it down.
He needed to put it up further.
That's what happens every year. Whenever I take one down, it winds up going up higher.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe that's his plan. That's where he's going. He got what he needed to do it. It's just on that project's on standby. There's all that other construction and destruction or whatever it may be until they're done. But they're doing a nice job. I mean, he did send me some pictures of what they're doing. It really looks nice. So, but yeah. Believe me, he's looking forward to doing it too. He's kind of, you know, he gets out in the mobile once in a while, but that's not where he wants to be.
Yeah, it's not the same thing after you've had a base. I mean, it's a good gap filler, but it doesn't completely fulfill.
No. I can see how Skyrider would have got frustrated being out in the mobile.
Yeah, it beats not having anything, but nothing beats having a base set up with a good antenna up high.
He's a trooper, though. Skyrider's a trooper. When his other antenna went down there and he went back out in the mobile, got back up on the hill, he's back into it again, doggone it. So I think he got the disease.
Yep.
Yeah, those of us who have the radio disease usually have it hard.
Yeah, that's no lie. If I get an antenna, like my wire antenna comes down, I guarantee it's going to be up within 24 hours. I don't play. I don't know. It's just something about that, you know. Something's break, got to fix it. Got to get it done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't take me off the air for long. And you know, more than one antenna. Okay, you may take down my good antenna. I still got one I could use.
That's the advantage. See, that's the ticket. Always got to have a backup. And some people have a backup for the backup.
I used to have a backup, but now it's on 40 meters.
You know, oddly enough, 40 meters, for some reason, I have the most antennas. I got the dipole, I got the ground-mounted vertical, and the 2 wires. So I actually have 4 antennas that I can use on 40 meters. I don't know if I could say that about any other band. I guess 80 and 160, but that ground-mounted vertical. No, because that I'm down to 3 antennas. So the only band I got 4 antennas for is 40 meters.
There you go.
I guess you could say that for this band, because I can use the beam, but that's going to suck. I got the IMAX, of course, which works, and the 2 wires. So that's 4 usable antennas. Not that any of them are going to be great, but you know, you're gonna have to work hard to get me off the air completely.
Play a big bush boogie.
Bush boogie, not the bush boogie. You ain't gonna do nothing.
I know where you can get it. I know how you get it. I know when you get it. So I need it. I need it now.
Trey also told me something that shocked me. He said he talked to Marky Mark, not that long ago.
Marky Mark and Monkey Man.
Yeah, I had assumed that he may have passed away, because he was gone, and somebody actually kind of hinted that he did pass away, but Trey said, no, I talked to him not that long ago.
I haven't heard from him in years.
Yeah, he popped in there one night, Trey said, and he talked to him for a little bit. And he fell off a roof or a ladder or something sometime back, and he landed on a concrete patio or something and messed himself up pretty bad from that. And I thought that may have been what triggered his untimely passing, but evidently he didn't pass from it.
Yeah, maybe Peters be up here, but I don't know.
Supposedly he's living in Pottstown.
In Pottstown? You mean he's closer than he used to be?
Yeah, he's not living where he used to be over there off of 401. He's in Pottstown somewhere.
Yeah, maybe he's sitting around hanging out copying our mail.
I'm surprised he wouldn't just key up and say hello or something,
Well, he might be under instruction to only talk to certain people.
It's under instruction.
Well, you know who his big brother is.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's hanging around with him much anymore. You can't get him his stuff anymore.
Yeah, but he knew where he got it. He knew how he got it, when he got it, and how much it cost.
I'm not getting it.
It's because you don't need it. He needed it. He wanted it, and he needed it. He knew where to get it.
Now, there's a rumor Monkey Man's going to put another antenna up. That's what I hear.
Didn't he say that a couple of years ago when he popped on here that he was going to do something, and then he disappeared?
Oh, that's what I heard recently anyway. I don't know. It's hard to say about this,
It's all speculation until it comes out.
That's right. When it happens, and that's it. Anything else doesn't mean nothing. You take it as it comes when you hear all this stuff.
Because you don't know who's who. You don't know who's what. You don't know what's going on. You don't have a clue. Some of them phrases are like, no matter what else went on, some of them phrases are gold. CB radio gold.
Yeah, they do have significance.
You don't know what's going on.
Drop them all day long.
Just a follower. You're just a follower.
You're a coward.
Yep.
You're a yellow-bellied coward.
Just a follower. Just another coward. My son-in-law does a pretty good imitation of all that.
Yeah, he's got the right, vocal intonations because, his voice is kind of up there, too.
He's pretty good at it. He has me fooled sometimes. Like, he's pretty close.
Yeah, it's harder for somebody like me to do that because I have to tweak my voice a little too high. It's not easy to do.
Yeah, I can't hit those octaves.
Come back quiet. I remember that one time he was shooting Skip and somebody in Skipland thought he was a girl.
I've heard him arguing with triaxle drivers and truckers or whatever. I heard him arguing with them, and they were calling him a girl. That was damn funny. The best memory I have is when I was playing the canned responses back through the computer and the TS480, and old Bluebird thought he was actually talking to the man.
Yeah. That just goes to show you the lack of depth that, any conversation with him had. You could just pick canned phrases and nobody would know the difference.
Oh my God, I was pissing myself laughing. And whenever I think about it, I wish somebody would have gated that, just to preserve it, because it was so damn funny.
Well, Bluebird wasn't exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer either.
Doesn't matter. The fact that somebody fell for it. I'm playing pre-recorded canned responses, picking them out of my library of recordings. He thought he was having a conversation with the man. God, that was so funny.
That recorder setup you had was really good. I mean, it was crystal clear.
Oh, yeah. I was playing right into the straight audio import on the 480HX from the computer. I mean, oh, yeah, that system worked really well. Yeah, I got myself in trouble with that, being annoyed at some people, but I had my share of fun with it, too. I remember putting that. I had that software. I forget what it's called. Echo Station, some kind of like record and forward, kind of on-channel repeater thing. And I think I'd put it on like an oddball channel or one of the 8 channels or something. I'd go driving around on my mobile just to see how far away I could hear my own station, kind of thing.
Yeah, I used to do that with Spew Radio. Take the laptop with me and go find a Wi-Fi node. I did that all the way out in Warrington at the Burger King there. I dialed it up, and then I'd key up on the truck and see if I could be heard.
Yeah, but I had it 2-way, So my station at home would hear me, and then play it back to me over the air, so I'd get it both ways.
Yeah. Somebody else set that up too. What's his name? I forget his handles. I think his name was Joel over there in Pottstown. And Trucker used to always go in there and try to get in his repeater, and then he'd make funny noises or whatever. I used to get in there and key up on Trucker.
That's why I did it on oddball channels, so less chance of somebody finding it. It was just for me for testing out. But yeah, I think the software is called Echo Station. I think that's right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
That 480 was fun, man. That was a good radio for computer interface and all. There's all kinds of stuff you could do with that once you're interfaced with the computer.
Yeah, it's a shame it turned into a brick.
Yeah, if I ever see another 480HX at a good price, I'm gonna have to snag it.
Yeah, good price. There you go. That's the key. That's the key right there.
Yeah, them radios are getting long in the tooth now.
A lot of radios are long in the tooth. Just about every one of my VHF, UHF radios are at least 30 years old.
Both of mine, well, not both of them. One of them's from the 70s, the other one's from the 80s. So neither of my 2-meter radios are new.
Yeah, I think these are late 80s, very early 90s models. Kenwoods. My 621 and the 721 and this Asden 6-meter rig I've got. Yeah, they're all, ancient. But you know what? They still work.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I got my TS700A Kenwood and my IC 290H.
Yeah, that 290H is that's a good radio for simplex or sideband. Well, sorry, you did put a tone board in that, so but you can only run one tone at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
Any of those really old radios that don't come with programmable tone, they're kind of useless on the repeaters nowadays. So they all have to be toned.
I was using that radio when I was at Cagolium to talk to you on the 06 machine.
Yeah.
When we were doing that for a little bit.
Yeah, right. When we were when I was working in Downingtown, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put the board in the radio.
Remember that one day we were in there talking and we got into something political and somebody keyed up and called us a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah, even if it stinks.
That's right. That kind of stuff used to bother me. I don't care anymore. Whatever.
I'm 65. Get off my yard.
That's right. That's right. Get off my yard. It's amazing how age changes your perspective on things.
Yeah, well, you go through a portion of your life trying to please other people and trying to be accepted by other people, and and now you get to a point where you don't care anymore.
I like the part, I don't care. I do not care what you think. I am who I am. I'm not going to change. Take me as I am, or otherwise I don't care.
Yeah, if I haven't changed by now, I'm not going to change. So tough. Deal with it.
That's right. And get off my lawn.
Right.
It's pretty, it's liberating is what it is.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
You can take a part out of something else and put it in there,
Don't have to go around trying to impress people anymore.
I put my time in. Now it's fun time.
Yeah, and I don't have to do it at work either because I just naturally what I do, they already know my value. So it's not like I have to prove my value anymore. They already know it. So I just go on about and do my thing.
Yeah, do your thing and,
And they leave me alone. When I'm in the back corner after lunch, taking a 15-minute snooze with my eyes closed, they don't bother me.
They know better. Leave the old guy alone.
Yeah, let him have his 15-minute snooze. He's all right. He'll go back to work, but just leave me alone. After I'm done eating, give me 15 minutes. Leave me alone.
That's the most bizarre thing, I started working and I was a young kid and I always let the young kid, and then all of a sudden I blinked a few times and I'm now the old guy. And I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I became all of a sudden I'm the old guy either. I was always the young blood. The young blood. You know, wet behind the ears and all this. I blink my eyes and now I'm the old guy. And everybody's like, dude, I got t-shirts older than you.
Yeah, right?
I have a vest that I've been wearing at work that Merck gave me, like, I don't know, back in like 1994 or 5. And I love that vest, and I wear that at work. When it's got a little chill in the air or whatever, I sit there with that vest on. It. That vest is 40 years old. It's older than most people at work.
And they probably just say, man, why don't you just buy a new one?
No, because I like it. But it didn't cost me nothing. I got my money's worth out of it. And it says I took the Burke patch off, but I left the it says Department 271 on it. I left that patch on it.
Which, of course, prompts people to ask, what's that refer to?
That's me. I'm Department 271.
There you go.
It's pretty funny, though. Yeah, that thing's been around for 40 years.
Amazing.
Speaking of amazing, it's amazing my eyes haven't shut yet because dogs got me up at freaking 5 o'clock this morning. So I think this is a good time to call it a night on Classic Radio Roundup, and look for the video gate on YouTube sometime tomorrow morning. But yeah, I think I'm done for the night. Anybody who's left, all the sandbaggers and sandbagger, good evening. 441 is Spitfire, and it's Antique Flea Market Radio, going that way.
Yeah, I think I'm right behind you. I was just looking at the clock and going like, yeah, it's about time. So anybody that's still in there listening, JR, Pete, whoever, catch everyone later, and we'll do it again next week because I got no more overnighters.
It's always a silver lining somewhere. All right, see you on probably Sunday night then, if not an AM Mayhem. Countywide.
Alrighty then.